Hi guys, it's either welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Kiosha. I am a lawyer that doesn't practice. I'm a mid-level government bureaucrat, and I'm just someone who moonlights in creativity. And today I am coming to you with a follow-up video from my episode 7 review of Married at First Sight Houston. And I am making this video because I could not hold my peace with regards to Michaela and Zack. Specifically, Michaela's behavior in the episode, right? So that's what today's video is all about. We're gonna get down into it. We're gonna attempt to break things down. And I'm not necessarily condemning Michaela, but I am condemning her behavior. So that's where we're gonna start. If you didn't watch the episode, if you did, I'm gonna give a little super brief rundown, and then I'm gonna get into the meat and potatoes of why I am here today. Okay, so the episode kind of started with them, it started with Zack coming back from the Keys where they honeymooned, where they were supposed to honeymoon. And he decided to go to Michaela's apartment to surprise Michaela. And so, he surprised her. It was really sweet. It was a really cute reunion. Michaela showed him a gift that she had gotten him for their, I think, 10-day anniversary. And then she showed him a photo that was taken of them that she had gotten framed. And so it was really cute. And I think I said this in my other video, but I do think objectively, Michaela is a really sweet girl. I will say that. I will give her that. And so after the surprise, it kind of goes to them moving into their new shared apartment. Before they went to bed for the night, the conversation, or they started having just kind of conversations about, or just deeper conversations, I guess I'll say. And I have my trusty notepad if you see me looking down, because I don't want to miss anything. And so they, like I said, they were just kind of having, I guess, deeper conversations, because they hadn't really seen each other in a while. And she did mention how it was going to be interesting because both of them really didn't have much experience in relationships. And so Zack goes, so are you the type of person that when an argument gets heated or things get crazy, are you the type of person to storm out and leave? And if you saw the episode, you saw that girl, you saw Michaela sit up with a straight face and tell a bold-faced lie. She literally told him, she was like, oh my God, no, I would never do that. That is abusive. That is emotionally abusive. I would never do anything like that, right? Literally happened the night before. At least that's how things were cut and edited. It seemed like that had legit happened the night before. Everything blew up, right? So, cut to, it looks like the next day. And you see Ryan. You can't tell where he came from, but you see Ryan kind of in the general living area. You see him with his dog, and then you see him leave out through the front door. So then Michaela wakes up. Not sure how long after. Michaela wakes up, and she's like looking around for Zack, Hey, Zack, opening doors. Zack, where are you, Zack? And then I guess it dawns on her that he is not in the apartment, right? And so then it shows Michaela. She had some Clorox cleaning wipes or one of those brands in one hand, and it looked like a cleaning cloth in the other. And she proceeds to have a meltdown of epic proportions. She takes those wipes and that, I guess, cleaning towel, and she just slams them down And like, it's like the slam kind of reverberated through her body. She was so upset. And then it showed her packing her bags and storming out. Cue the conversation from the night before, right? She packed her shit and she stormed out, right? So now we're gonna cut to either the next day or later that day when Pastor Cal came, because Pastor Cal was visiting all of the couples, right? And so before Pastor Cal got there, I'm guessing, you know, they had gotten word, be at the apartment. Pastor Cal is coming, right? And so she's sitting on one side of the couch. He's sitting on the other side of the couch. And he's like, hey, you know, Michaela, are you okay? Because she legit has the most stank attitude. She's sitting on that other side of the couch like this. I mean, it was actually really funny. So he was like, Michaela, you know, are you okay? And she was like, I'm fine. And he was like, hey, you sure? Yeah, I'm good. And then it cuts to her in the confessional being like, he knows I'm not fine. He knows why I'm mad. Like, why would he ask me that? And so I'm immediately like, well, my dear, if he left to take his dog somewhere and he came back and you were gone and you didn't tell him why you were gone and you guys never had a conversation, how would he know why you left and why you were mad, right? He tries again, right? He kind of goes in again and he's like, no, seriously, what's up? Like, why are you mad? And she, you know, she brings it up, right? She brings up that he left and he didn't say anything. And basically like, what were you out there doing? I don't trust you. What was going on? It was a lot more dramatic than that, but I'm paraphrasing, right? And so he's like, wait, what? What's going on? And she proceeds to, you know, go in on him like, you left. I woke up, you were gone. He was like, but I took the dog to, I guess, like daycare or something. She was like, you're a motherfucking, like she's cussing this man out and everything, basically going in. She's like, you're a liar. And so it kind of boils to a fever pitch, right? Things get really crazy. And she essentially tells him like, you did this on purpose. You intentionally left. Like, and it's just kind of like, okay. So he intentionally left to upset you, to make you pack your bags and leave, right? Before I go to Pastor Cal coming in and them beginning their conversation, right? I will say this. I will say that if I had just married someone and I woke up and they weren't home and I didn't see like a text or something, my personality type, if I'm married to this person, I'm sure they're out running and handling whatever business they need to handle. But in her situation, they've only known each other for like 8 or 9 days. So I could see how she was like, well, hey, I mean, you didn't send me a text. You didn't call me. You didn't wake me up. You didn't say anything. You just left. So I could see how she would be irritated. Absolutely. I will not take that away from her. Right? But 2 things can be true at the same time. Right? You can be mildly irritated with someone and you can also communicate with them. Instead of being mildly irritated, or even a step above mildly irritated, and communicating with her husband, she decided to escalate to honey badger mad, like Tasmanian devil mad, and then she left. So there was no communication, right? And so I'm gonna give an example of maybe how things could have went when she realized he was gone. Maybe she got a little mildly irritated, but she waited on him to get home to communicate, right? And so let's put on the example, right? I'm Michaela when Zack gets home. It's like, oh, hey, babe, you know, what's up? And he's like, oh, nothing. I just took the dog to daycare. You know, how are you today? And he's like, well, I'm good, but I'm a little irritated. Um, you know, I woke up this morning and you were gone. And I checked my phone. I didn't see a text. I didn't see a call. I looked on the counter. I didn't see a note. And so my mind kind of started to go to maybe a dark place, like maybe something had happened, maybe you had left, maybe this wasn't enough for you, because I do have issues with abandonment because, you know, my dad passed and it just kind of feels like anybody who walks into my life can just as easily walk out of my life. So that is something that I deal with. And so when I realized that you were gone and I didn't see any word from you, you know, I panicked. And then that panic kind of turned to, wait, he's probably fine. And then it kind of went to like mild irritation. So, you know, what happened? Like, why didn't you say anything? I'm Zack, right? Now I'm Zack. Well, you know what? You were asleep. I was just going to slip out and come right back. I didn't want to bother you. And honestly, I probably could have said something. I could have sent you a text, but it just slipped my mind. Now I'm Michaela. Oh, okay, well, that's fair. And that makes sense. But just for the future, can you please, in situations like this, can you please give me a heads up? I don't mind if you wake me up, or if it's easier, I don't mind for you to like leave me a text or call me a little later just to let me know what's going on and where you are, just so I'm comfortable because, you know, i.e. my baggage, right? That's an example of how the conversation could have went. Instead, there was no conversation and things got insane. So let's cue Pastor Cal coming. And so Pastor Cal comes in, and like I said, she had just finished cussing him out when Pastor Cal knocked on the door. She was like, you a motherfucking lie. You didn't motherfucking take your dog to the da-da-da. So she had just finished cussing him out. Pastor Cal knocks, they let Pastor Cal in, right? And so immediately you could just, I mean, you could eat the tension. It was so thick. You could reach out and grab the air and eat it. Because the tension was just so thick. Eventually, Pastor Cal is just kind of like, what's going on, guys? And I'm going to look down to read what she said. And she said that the experts managed to match her with a dynamic, strong, stubborn, something person. And Pastor Cal just kind of looked at her and he was like, wait, you mean like you? We managed to match you with a person who acts just like you? And so she kind of sat there with a boo-boo face like, and so it kind of pans over to Zack and he is pissed, right? And I probably didn't do a good job of setting everything up, but just imagine somebody launching into your ass over nothing and you're just kind of like completely blindsided. You didn't get a heads up. You literally have no idea what's going on, but you're bombarded with fire, which for most people, your defenses come up. So now he's full on pissed. Zack is angry. He basically is flabbergasted because he's like, I can't understand. I can't understand why you wouldn't believe me. Like, why would I lie about taking my dog, you know, to the daycare? And while it's not lost on me that a lot of people, I won't just say men, a lot of men and women, and everything in between, right, lie, especially in situations like this. But given the context of the show, this man would not be dumb enough to leave and go and cheat or just whatever she was insinuating, right? So yeah, it was super confused, like, why don't you believe me? What could I have possibly went to do then, right? So she goes, you know, I want to trust you. I just don't believe you. And then she breaks off into like this whole diatribe about her dad passing and how he was her caretaker and he took care of her and he looked out for her and now he's gone and, you know, there's nobody here to look out for me. And so immediately I'm like, okay, it sounds like I'm not a licensed professional, but it sounds like she's dealing with some abandonment issues, right? And now apparently this has become Zack's burden to bear and Zack's cross to carry, right? So that happens. That whole thing comes out, and then the tears really start coming down. And so I'll stop right there, right? I can absolutely relate to your father passing and you having to deal with some residual effects of that. My dad passed, right? And he passed in a very traumatic fashion. Not imagine this happened. All of his children were in the room and we watched him take his last breath. We had no idea that was going to be his last day on earth, right? Very traumatic fashion. So, and not only that, like I lost the woman who raised me in 2015, my dad in 2017, and then my brother was murdered in 2019. So I know a little bit about a little bit when it comes to grief and just the issues that arise once you are confronted with grief. But I never make the people that I love pay for that, right? And so, like I said, I understand it. I understand her dad passing, and I understand that putting her maybe in an interesting space. And then I think he passed when she was a bit younger. And so to me, it almost kind of feels like I feel like she has abandonment issues, right? And it almost kind of feels like she feels like her dad like left her on purpose, right? And of course, rationally, that makes no sense. And of course, she knows that rationally. But I think somewhere like subconsciously, she feels like he left her alone and he left her abandoned. And think about how she reacted when Zack caught COVID. And she was so upset. Like, she was really upset with him. And it was just kind of like, yo, chill. He didn't go out and catch COVID on purpose. You know he could die, right? So you should probably dial it back a couple steps. Of course you're disappointed. Of course it's your freaking honeymoon. But chill. You know, he didn't do it on purpose. So it kind of reminded me of that a little bit. So I said all of that to say, it seems like Michaela has serious abandonment issues. And then she also has like a really, really, really hot temper and a super short fuse. And so you combine all that and you get what you saw in that episode. Just pure chaos. I mean, I was really offended like watching this show. It was me and my boyfriend. We were downstairs like, what the fuck is happening? Right? So that's that, right? That's kind of a little bit of background on me and how, you know, I could get things being a little messed up. Like I can get you feeling a little lost, but it's still not okay to treat people bad, right? So then Pastor Cal does something that I didn't particularly like. So Zack, as she was crying, Zack was like, listen, I'm here. I'll help you through this. I will take on the burden. Boom, 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 right? Basically like laying prostrate. Oh, and before all of this happened, he had like reached out to comfort her and she, you know, jacked back. It was just the craziest thing ever. And so basically Zack goes, listen, I'll take on the burden. I'm here. I'll help you. I'm here to walk with you through this, right? And Michaela said something that I actually agreed with. She said, no, you know, that's too much for you to take on. You don't have to do that. The part where I think she was stopped by Pastor Cal, or where I think Pastor Cal should have said this is, you know, this is my burden to carry and this is what I need to work through. Right? That's what I feel like should have happened. But instead, Pastor Cal was like, no. You should allow him to help you. If he's saying that he wants to pick up this burden and help you get through this, then you should allow him to, right? And this is where I absolutely disagree. Michaela has a lot of work to do. Michaela needs professional psychological help. Michaela needs to figure out her triggers. Michaela needs to figure out how to work through her triggers. Michaela needs a licensed professional to help her figure out her triggers, help her figure out how to work through her triggers and cope with her triggers, and then help her become a balanced human being who is able to regulate her emotions and communicate when things get bad and communicate when things are good and just communicate in general, right? So I disagree with Pastor Cal because the responsibility for Michaela to get better is on Michaela. Of course, your partner can be there for you and wipe your tears and hug you and comfort you, but they cannot walk through the journey with you. They cannot heal you, right? And so by Pastor Cal kind of propping him up like, yeah, let him do it, I felt like he did Zack a disservice because it was clear to see, yes, Pastor Cal wasn't there and maybe he didn't get the full breakdown of what happened, but it's clear to see that Michaela was being very abusive towards Zack. It just kind of is what it is, right? She raged on him, right? Instead of communicating, instead of telling him how she felt and giving him a chance to defend himself, she raged. That is abusive. Not only did she rage, she called him all types of liars and she told him to his face that she did not trust him. So like as a partner, what are you supposed to do with that? Right? How am I supposed to take that? How is that comforting for me? And how am I supposed to want to be in this for the long haul with you? So that's where I disagree with Pastor Cal. I absolutely, and he's not a licensed therapist, he's a pastor, but I absolutely think he was off on that. And he probably even could have given Michaela like some extra advice like, hey, I kind of see what's happening here. I think maybe you should get with me and the other two experts and maybe we can counsel you on the side to kind of help you through these issues that you are dealing with, because they are a lot and they're too much for you to be putting off on your partner, and it's not your partner's responsibility to be your punching bag and to heal you. Your partner is here to love you and to walk through this journey called life with you, right? That's kind of, what that is, but not to make you whole. That responsibility is on you. So I would like for you to maybe have some extra sessions a week with us so we can try to get you through this. Or I would like to send you to a psychologist over here to help you get through this. So that's basically what happened in the episode. I will give Pastor Cal credit. He did say that Michaela needed to stop pushing Zack away. And then he also said that they both needed to work on their own baggage. I agree with both of those things, right? I absolutely agree with both of those things. And we could talk about Zack another day. I do feel like in this situation, he was just like a blindsided bystander. It's just like, what the heck happened, But we're talking about Michaela. Like I said, Michaela needs professional help. And if you watch that episode, and if you are someone who can identify with how Michaela flew off the handle, if you can identify with how Michaela just immediately started ripping into him and attacking him, if you can identify and you think Michaela was justified in this episode, I don't mean any harm by saying this, but there is also something deeply wrong with you and you need professional help. Is there anything wrong with getting professional help? Absolutely not. Are there also things deeply wrong with me? Absolutely yes. Am I also getting professional help? Absolutely yes. Am I also getting chemical help to help balance the things in my brain that are unbalanced? Absolutely yes, right? So I'm not attacking you. I am not attacking Michaela. I am stating facts. If this is how you act, if this is how you treat the people in your life that you say you like and you love, you need help. We saw it in previous episodes. We've seen it in flash forwards with Michaela. Michaela has issues. And that behavior is absolutely unacceptable. You are not a toddler, you are not a 5-year-old, you're not even a 10-year-old freaking out, right? You are an adult person, and you are responsible for being able to regulate your emotions. And when you can't do that, you have to have the wherewithal and the self-awareness to reach out to someone to help you do this. Like, I'm so disappointed because I actually liked Michaela and I liked Zack, and I would like for them to be able to figure it out. They have issues way outside of, you know, her temper and all this and all that. I mean, neither of them have ever really been in love or in relationship, right? So they have bigger fish to fry, or I won't say bigger fish to fry, but they have other issues. But what I am talking about right now, that girl needs help, okay? And that's basically all I really wanted to get into. I just kind of wanted to break that down, like that bad behavior that really, really bothered me. And I'm sure it bothered a lot of other people who were watching as well. Like I said, if it didn't bother you and you thought it was okay, baby girl, baby boy, you probably need to be laid back on somebody's couch. You know what I'm saying? You probably need to be talking and expressing yourself and your feelings, right? But that's basically all I wanted to say. That's basically all I wanted to break down. Yeah, they call her Hurricane K. It was kind of like a little funny at the wedding when her sisters brought it up. But in practice, it is not funny. This is not cute. And this is just not how evolved people act. I will give her grace. Maybe her seeing herself on camera will be the catalyst for her to go and decide to get help. But at the same time, if at the end of the season they don't make it, which if she keeps acting like this, they probably won't, you have potentially, you know, verbally abused a person. You've potentially ruined them, at least for a little bit, until they kind of get back and recenter for themselves. So I don't know, it's a whole thing. If you stuck with me this long, you know, thank you so much for watching. Please consider giving me a like, commenting down below. Tell me how you feel about it. Please tell me how you feel about it. And you know, if you're so inclined, if you feel so inclined, please also subscribe to the channel. But that is all I have for the day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.